My name is Aika. I grew up in a religious family. Even though we would regularly attend church every Sunday, our lives did not reflect a relationship with Christ. Back then, our family had problems. My dad was unemployed, addicted to drugs and gambling. Because of this, we lived miserably. But God, in His goodness and grace, moved in our life when my dad received Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. We saw how he repented from his sins and pursued a life that would glorify God, which eventually led our family to Christ. My dad's passion and heart for service encouraged me in my spiritual walk. Whenever we would encounter trials as a family, he became my constant reminder that God will never leave nor forsake us. In February 2016, I was diagnosed with acute myelogenous leukemia, a type of cancer in the blood. When I heard the diagnosis from my doctor, I was devastated, but it was my dad's trust in God that reassured me. At the hospital, my dad would always wake me up early to have our daily devotion. We would sing songs to God even though I felt weak. He showed me what it meant to trust in God. After months of confinement, my health did not improve. I had more infections and complications to the point that my doctor told my family in secret that I only have about a month to live. As my health deteriorated, hardship came in my life, when my boyfriend of 5 years died in a car accident. When I heard about it, I was very devastated and broken into pieces. 7 months after John's death, when it seemed that things can't go any worse, we learned that my dad also had cancer. It was worrisome to know that it is now the both of us who need to be taken care of. I worried about how we are going to make ends meet and where will we get the money for both of our treatments. But more than that, he was my source of strength, and seeing him suffer as he fought for his life was more difficult. I thought of giving up, but my dad reassured me once again that God is with us. After 2 months of battling cancer, he passed away. It was by God's grace that I was able to respond well when I heard about my dad's death. Despite the series of heart-wrenching loss, I remembered being grateful to the Lord for allowing me to experience all of that in a span of 1 year. It was through trying and life-changing times that I felt His presence overflow in my life and learned to depend on Him. I also knew, as my dad would teach me, that eventually God will use these things in my life so people will be led to Christ. It was in January 2017 that I started attending CCF. The Lord ministered to me when I heard the wife of Pastor Ricky Sardu, Miss Aggie, share her life experience with battling cancer. After that, I decided to regularly attend and join a small group. It was in that community that I was able to share my life story with others, hoping that through it, they will find encouragement and hope, and vice versa. I too was blessed having a second family who intentionally prays for me. And that is one of the many blessings of having a D group. I was also blessed when my life story was featured in MMK. When they showed the episode, thousands of people started to message me. I took advantage of that and shared Christ to them, hoping that in their trials, they will also seek the Lord. And by God's grace and goodness, I am now almost 3 years in remission. I am thankful to God that He used my life as a platform so people can find hope and encouragement even in the most difficult situation. To God be all the glory.